Hello there and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a really fascinating research group. They're working right where technology and humanity meet, asking some of the biggest questions you can imagine about our digital future. So let's jump in and explore how they're tackling the challenges of our time. It's a question we've all probably asked ourselves, right? We're living so much of our lives through screens and algorithms, but you have to wonder, who's making sure all this digital change is actually working for us and not the other way around? Well, that's exactly where Prodigy comes into the picture. And these guys aren't just a bunch of tech experts. No, they're a multidisciplinary group, bringing people together from fields like education, linguistics, and psychology to look at this exact challenge. You could almost call them the humanists of the digital age. And this right here, this sums up their whole philosophy perfectly. It's such a simple but powerful idea, and it's the foundation for everything they do. It's not about fighting against technology, not at all. It's about shaping it, making sure human needs and our well-being are at the absolute heart of it. Okay, so let's dig into that a little deeper. What does this mission actually look like in practice? The key phrase to remember here is human-centered digital transformation. For Prodigy, this isn't just jargon. It means making sure that every single new tool, every platform, every AI model is designed to help us thrive. It's all about making us better at connecting with each other and, honestly, just leading more fulfilling lives. All right, so we get the mission. Now let's peek inside the lab, so to speak, and see what they're actually working on. You can see right away their work is super current. They're tackling the biggest topics in tech today. They're looking at how we can use generative AI responsibly, and they're helping develop what's called multimodal literacy, which is just a fancy way of saying being able to understand things across text, images, and video. Plus, they're evaluating all those digital tools for schools and figuring out how to make virtual classrooms better for everyone. And this is where you really see that human-first focus shine. It's not just about the gadgets and the code. It's about us, the people using it. They're exploring how we can improve our social skills online, how to project our mental health on social media, and they're even studying the very real stress that all this tech can put on our teachers. And get this, just to show how creative they can be, they actually offer training on how to design educational escape rooms. It's a brilliant way to prove that digital learning doesn't have to be boring. How cool is that? It's just a fantastic, hands-on way to get people engaged with learning. They're also really focused on global communication. And let's be honest, in the world we live in today, this is absolutely vital. They're doing everything from figuring out how good machine translation really is to advising universities on how to support students from all over the world. It's all about using tech to bridge those cultural gaps. So we've seen their mission, and we've seen their pretty fascinating projects, but how do they actually do all this? Let's take a look at their method. You can see they have a really structured, comprehensive approach. It always starts with diagnosis. They go in and figure out what's really going on. From there, they design custom solutions and give their expert recommendations. Then comes the really practical part, training and consulting. And what's so important is that they follow up to actually measure the impact of their work on people's learning, their well-being, and how things get done. Which brings us to our final section, and it's a big one. What does all this look like out in the real world? Who is actually benefiting from this research? As you can see here, their impact is incredibly wide. They're in universities training the next generation of teachers. They're advising governments and NGOs on policies that affect thousands of people. They're even working with the tech companies themselves to make their products better and more user-friendly. And they also bring it right to the public, offering workshops for all of us on digital skills and well-being. So all of this leaves us with one last, really big question to think about. As AI and our digital worlds just keep expanding faster and faster, who's going to be the advocate for humanity in all of this? Who's going to make sure this new world is a place where we can all genuinely flourish? Well, the work of groups like Prodigy gives us an answer. By pushing for better digital education, by championing multilingualism, and by demanding responsible AI, they are right at the forefront, helping to build a more thoughtful, effective, and truly human-centered digital future for every single one of us. Thanks so much for joining me.